Now let's talk about something that floats around quietly but shapes business more than how people admit them to be. Now we have the unspoken filter that Asians put on each other. And once you have an idea of what I'm talking about, we're going to get into exactly how this impacts sales in Asia. But first off, let me explain where this really shows up. So it is not just a theory. So don't roll your eyes on this. This isn't another identity politics rant, okay? So I work in sales. I work across the borders. And this filter, it quietly shapes how people get sorted in sales. And that's everything. Now, there are labels out there. Sometimes they sound like jokes. Sometimes they are half truths. But let's be clear. This isn't about geography. It's about the unspoken value system. Now, who is seen as refined, who is seen as credible, and who seen as, let's be blunt, worth listening to. It happens in Asia. It happens among the Asian communities in the US too. And it is not just outsiders, okay? Now, Asians, they quietly filter each other too. The status, the background, and even which country you're from. And it's all part of the skin. And guess what? If people didn't really care about this, these labels wouldn't even exist, right? So here's where it gets real. Now, people, whether in Asia, the US, or anywhere, quietly scan each other. Now, at Costco, in meetings, or even standing in the line at Starbucks, that is super obvious. Now, half the time, they don't even know that they are doing it, and they are clocking your accent, your behavior, your background before the conversation even starts. And in sales, that's your first pitch, and you didn't even open your mouth yet. That handshake might come in later, but that filtering, that's instantaneous. Your credibility, your positioning decides long before the price or the product shows up. So nobody says that directly to you, but it's true. Identity here isn't a form. It is a filter. The paperwork, that's just mere logistics, your behavior, your signals, how you show up. That's what closes the deals or quietly kills them without you even knowing. So you see, people like us, we relocate. We have new passport, we have new nationalities, we have new LinkedIn headlines, but the filter doesn't care about the paperwork. Now, people scan them where they're from, how they speak, or how they operate. Now, in sales, though, that scan decides how much real trust and access you get or not. So if you were to ignore this, you will realize that there is a hole in your sales strategies. So deals don't die on pricing. They die the second the room texts you as not one of us. And no one is going to tell you when that happens. What they do, they slow roll you, they block you, or they even disappear. Now, this isn't about fighting labels. It's about seeing that filter very clearly and adapting how we position ourselves. So in sales, though, we know that very clearly. Perception runs ahead of the product. So how do you work around it? You stay sharp. You control the controllable. Let me make this real for a bit. Let's say we have two sellers that walk into the same meeting. Now, the first one fumbles their introduction and talk generic and plays it safe, and the bias filter stays on like a big red light. It says, outsider, maybe not credible. Now, the second one that walks in is calm, sharp, and hits them with the insight about their market, asks strategic questions, and that quiet filter, it doesn't vanish. It's softened up. Suddenly, they are listening to the value before the bias. Your preparations, your presence, and your position, those speak before your product ever does. So you cannot rewrite that filter for sure. But what we can do is to navigate through it like a professional. We don't control the filter, but we learn to work around it. So you don't have to love these labels, but pretending that these filters doesn't shape your business, that is amateur. So in sales, though, especially in Asia cross-border, now that filtering starts before the pitch does. So understand that, and you're going to play the game very differently.